A state trooper and sergeant with 22 years of service as a police officer went on a caving exploration with 12 scouts, which included his 2 sons. Everything was going well until he got stuck in the cave, 17 feet underground. While New Jersey might lack grand glacial caverns, it houses a collection of hidden caves, each creating an avenue to various levels of exploration. Among these, Crooked Swamp Cave stands out as the longest, recognized by New Jersey Grotto groups. Located within the limestone bedrock, this narrow passage winds through the heart of Crooked Swamp, an expansive marsh complex at the Paulinskill River's headwaters. This unique ecosystem supports diverse plant and animal species, including the federally endangered bog turtle and state-threatened longtail salamander. Additionally, Crooked Swamp hosts a rookery for great blue herons. The cave's formation dates back thousands of years, shaped by the gradual dissolution of mineral bedrock through numerous springs that feed into the swamp. Crooked Swamp Cave, which consists of 8 sections and passages measuring a total of 1,250 feet, holds the record as the longest cave in Lafayette and the entire state. Nestled within a vast wildlife preserve and marsh complex, this cave provides a unique habitat for various endangered species, like bog turtles, majestic blue herons, and vibrant long-tailed salamanders. Exploring Crooked Swamp Cave is an exciting adventure, but intending explorers must adhere to the laid-down guidelines, which serve as a precaution to avoid dangers. The cave is accessible only through guided tours organized by the New Jersey Cave Conservancy to ensure everyone's safety and follow established standards. On Saturday, March 27, 1982, 48-year-old State Trooper Sergeant Donald Weltner took members of the Boy Scouts of Millstone Township Troop 116 to explore the passages of Crooked Swamp Cave for the first time. Donald served as a police officer for 22 years, working in the Communications Bureau at Division Headquarters in West Trenton. He had a lifelong involvement in scouting, and as a scoutmaster, had previously led scouts on cave exploring expeditions in Pennsylvania and other places. The exploration team included 12 scouts, including his 2 sons, Christopher, 14, and Roger, 11, both members of the troop. However, he didn't have extensive knowledge of the cave before embarking on this exploration. What he did not prepare for were the necessary precautions because the Crooked Swamp Cave is a rather complicated cave composed of 8 sections or caves. Donald, accompanied by his 2 sons, entered the cave adventure around 2 p.m. on Saturday. As a seasoned spelunker with a history of guiding his scout troop on various cave explorations, Donald approached the journey to Crooked Swamp Cave with confidence. After all, he had explored similar terrain in the past, he thought. As they bravely entered the cave, the entrance was only 16 inches high and 28 inches wide, making it necessary for them to crawl on their hands and knees. At 3 p.m., Donald, leading the way with his experience, found himself in a tricky situation as the cave narrowed in a cone-like passage. Unfortunately, he slipped headfirst into a crevice, which was 17 feet below ground level at that point. Because he crawled head first, he got stuck at the waist, about 75 feet into the cave. Despite the kids successfully maneuvering themselves out of tight spots, Donald couldn't free himself. His companions, after trying for about an hour and a half, were unable to assist him, leading them to notify the authorities for help. A great number of rescue teams showed up, with some traveling from far away to help. At the cave, there were hundreds of police officers, paramedics, rescuers, and others enduring the cold as they kept a vigil throughout the night under bright floodlights. The police reached out to the Lafayette Fire and Rescue Squad at 6 p.m. As the early evening unfolded, a continuous flow of emergency vehicles with blinking red and blue lights pierced through the darkness. These vehicles brought rescue squads, equipment, generators, heaters, floodlights, portable communication tools, and a mix of policemen, reporters, and curious onlookers to the scene. To support the hard-working rescue force, 3 meals a day were prepared at the town's sole firehouse and transported to Crooked Swamp Cave. The community rallied together, with numerous residents daily pitching in by donating eggs, meat, and vegetables to ensure everyone involved was well fed during this challenging rescue operation. Rescuers tried approaching the cave from two sides, one towards the legs and the other towards his downturned head. Unfortunately, efforts to pull Donald out by his feet didn't work. Skilled cave explorers later tried reaching him from different parts of the cave, but could only get within 2 feet of his head. The cave's temperature, averaging around 57 degrees Fahrenheit, added to the challenging conditions. When the rescue operation kicked off, Donald stayed awake and talked with the rescue workers for several hours after the accident. He even requested that they convey to his wife that he would be arriving home later than expected. He had hopes. Trapped in the cave, his only chance rested on a successful rescue. As time passed, he began moaning, talking occasionally, and sometimes drifting into unconsciousness. Heat pumps were placed inside the cave to try to warm him, especially as temperatures outside dropped and became so cold. Sadly, by 2 a.m. on Sunday, the state police heard what seemed to be his final grunts, indicating a turn for the worse in this situation. On that Sunday morning, paramedics, including Elaine DeLuca, a registered nurse from Morristown Memorial Hospital, and Mr. Brass, crawled through dark 75-foot winding tunnels for 2 hours to reach Donald's legs. Equipped with a portable electrocardiograph and a sensitive stethoscope called a Doppler machine, they found Donald in a very cold state with no pulse or electrocardiographic responses. Elaine, with precision, removed one of his boots, tore his trouser leg up to the knee, and using the Doppler machine, attempted to check for a pulse at 3 points: behind the knee, in the instep, and on the outside of the foot. In addition, she attached leads for electrocardiogram. Unfortunately, these tests indicated no signs of life, prompting authorities to consider drilling an 18-inch hole in the hillside above Donald. The intention was to lower a small person in a cage to chisel him free. This discovery led those at the rescue site to become extremely pessimistic about Donald's chances for survival. Several factors seemed to work against him, including the consistent cold temperatures in the depths of the cave. Additionally, rescue workers faced the challenge of being unable to reach his head to offer warm fluids or other nourishment, further complicating the already difficult situation. Even as hope started to fade, the rescue efforts persisted throughout the day. Exhausted 2- and 3-member rescue teams, covered in mud and feeling frustrated, had been crawling in and out of the cave all night. They used chisels, drills, and ropes, but unfortunately, without success. As a next step, an 18-inch wide hole was drilled 14 feet into the hillside above the spot where Donald was trapped, in the hope of reaching him. However, it missed by about 12 feet. They even tried drilling sideways to get closer to him, but the challenges of reaching him within the cave persisted. By Monday morning, even though there were no signs of life, rescue workers persisted in placing hot water bottles on Donald's head and feet. This was done in the hopes that he might be kept alive. So far, various methods have been attempted, including drilling a shaft into the cave, attaching a harness and rope to his body, and attempting to pull him out from between the stones where he was wedged. Sadly, all efforts to rescue him proved unsuccessful. Despite around-the-clock efforts, many feared that he had indeed lost his life in the depths of Crooked Swamp Cave. They sensed that he was no longer breathing. To confirm this, a doctor was brought to the site to assess the situation and provide professional insight into the tragic outcome. Dr. Lucian Fletcher from Newton Memorial Hospital went to the cave to examine Donald's body. He officially declared him dead at 10:45 p.m. It wasn't until Tuesday evening, after being pronounced dead by Dr. Fletcher, that the effort to remove Donald's body using all available means commenced. They had to bring closure to this unfortunate incident. Around an hour later, the final rocks were broken away, and Donald's body was carefully taken out on a stretcher. It was a teary sight to behold, and many wondered how an adventure could lead to the end of one's life. The body was then transported to Newton Memorial Hospital. Presently, Crooked Swamp Cave is looked after by the New Jersey Cave Conservancy. Following the unfortunate incident involving Donald, safety gates have been added to the cave's entrance. Joanne Beliveau is the steward for the conservancy group overseeing the cave. Joanne emphasizes that guided tours of the cave follow strict rules, including a prerequisite of prior spelunking experience. Being a member of a recognized caving organization is encouraged for those interested in exploring the cave on guided tours. These measures aim to ensure the safety of cave explorers and protect the unique environment within Crooked Swamp Cave. We would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching, take a dive on the like and subscribe buttons and hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another.